Hey there, Chiefs fan. Let's talk about one of the most exciting young players on the Kansas City Chiefs roster right now, George Karlaftis. If you've been following the team, you know this guy is quickly making a name for himself as a defensive force. Drafted in the first round, expectations were high, and he's been showing flashes of the kind of player who can really change games. Just recently, George sat down for an interview on FS1, and he dropped some pretty interesting insights. What really caught my attention was how he compared himself to two NFL legends, Jason Kelsey and Trent Williams. Now that's a bold move, but it tells you how much confidence Karlaftis has in his game and how he's studying some of the best to get better. Before we dive deeper into what he said about those comparisons, let's remind ourselves why Karlaftis is worth paying attention to. He's a young pass rusher with excellent speed and strength, and the Chiefs need that kind of energy on defense, especially with the way offenses are evolving in the league. If he keeps growing, he could be a key piece to keeping the Chiefs' defense at an elite level. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think George Karlaftis is living up to all the hype? Is he on track to become one of the top defenders in the league? Drop a quick yes or no down in the comments, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to Total Chiefs News and hit that bell icon so you never miss updates like this. All right, now that we know who Karlaftis is and why his voice matters, let's jump into what he had to say about Jason Kelsey. Trust me, you'll want to hear this. All right, let's get into the meat of George Karlaftis' interview on FS1, starting with his take on Jason Kelsey. Now, if you're a Chiefs fan, you know Kelsey isn't just any player. He's a legendary center, a true leader on the field, and someone who embodies toughness and smarts. Karlaftis didn't just throw Kelsey's name around lightly. He showed a lot of respect for what Kelsey brings to the game. In the interview, George talked about how much he admires Kelsey's work ethic. Kelsey is known for being one of the hardest working guys on the team, and that's something George said he tries to emulate. It's not just about raw talent, it's about how much effort you put in day after day. And that's a big part of what separates good players from great ones. Karlaftis also mentioned Kelsey's football IQ, the way Kelsey reads defenses, calls out adjustments, and leads the offensive line. It's that kind of leadership that Karlaftis finds inspiring. For a young defensive player like him, understanding what a guy like Kelsey does on the other side of the ball can help him improve his own game. He knows it's not just about beating your man, but about understanding the bigger picture on every snap. What's interesting is how Karlaftis compared his mindset to Kelsey's. Even though they play on different sides of the ball, the passion and intensity are similar. Karlaftis said he tries to bring that same kind of energy every game, and that kind of fire is exactly what the Chiefs need to keep pushing for championships. Now, I want to ask you, what's your favorite Jason Kelsey moment? Is it one of his clutch blocks, a leadership moment, or maybe something funny off the field? Share it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what Kelsey moments stick out most for you. And hey, if you're enjoying this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps get the video in front of more Chiefs fans just like you. Also, if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe for more exclusive content and updates straight from the heart of Chiefs country. Up next, we're going to talk about a bold comparison George made, one involving Trent Williams, one of the most dominant players in the NFL. Stay tuned. Now, let's get into something that really caught my attention from George Karlaftis' FS1 interview, his comparison to Trent Williams. If you know NFL offensive linemen, you know Trent Williams is a beast. One of the best tackles in the league, a multiple-time All-Pro, and a guy who dominates matchups week in and week out. For Karlaftis to bring up Williams, that's a big deal. George didn't say he's already at Williams' level, but he did say he studies players like him to shape his own game. Williams is known for his power, his technique, and his ability to control the line of scrimmage. Karlaftis sees those traits as a benchmark for what he wants to become on defense. It's a bold comparison, but it shows Karlaftis' confidence and ambition. Comparing a young defensive end to an elite offensive tackle might seem odd at first, but when you think about it, it makes sense. Both positions require strength, quickness, and the ability to win battles one-on-one. Karlaftis wants to be that disruptive force. The player opponents have to game plan around every week. What's even more interesting is that Trent Williams is known for his longevity and consistency. Karlaftis hinted that he wants to build a career with that kind of impact, not just flash-in-the-pan moments. He's aiming for long-term greatness, which is exactly what the Chiefs need in their defense. Now, here's a question for you. Do you think George Karlaftis is on track to be as dominant as Trent Williams? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. And feel free to explain why if you want. I'm curious to see what you think. If you're enjoying this breakdown, don't forget to smash that like button. Every like helps us get closer to our goal of 5,000 subscribers, and I'd love for you to be part of the community here at Total Chiefs News. Next, we'll dive into what all these comparisons mean for the Chiefs' defense and the team's future. It's where things get really exciting, so stick around. All right, now that we've heard George Karlaftis compare himself to some of the best in the game, let's talk about what that actually means for the Kansas City Chiefs moving forward. The Chiefs have always been known for their high-powered offense, but in recent years, defense has become a bigger focus. Having a young player like Karlaftis, who models his game after stars like Jason Kelsey and Trent Williams, signals something important. The team is building a defense that can match their offense's dominance. Karlaftis' growth could be a game-changer. When you think about the Chiefs' defensive scheme under Steve Spagnuolo, having a versatile, confident pass rusher can create pressure that helps the whole defense play better. If George continues on this path, he could become a cornerstone of that defense for years. Plus, Coach Andy Reid values players who bring energy and leadership, and from what Karlaftis said, that's exactly who he wants to be. Those comparisons aren't just about skill. They're about attitude and impact on the team culture. For the Chiefs, that's huge. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Chiefs defense will be noticeably stronger this season with Karlaftis stepping up? Vote in the comments yes or no. And if you have any predictions about how many sacks or tackles for loss he might get, share those too. Remember, this channel is all about bringing you the latest and greatest from Chiefs Kingdom, so if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. We're aiming for 5,000 subscribers, and your support means everything. Coming up, we'll wrap things up with some final thoughts on George Karlaftis' future and what to watch for this season. Don't go anywhere. So, after hearing everything George Karlaftis shared on FS1, from admiring Jason Kelsey's leadership to modeling aspects of his game after Trent Williams, one thing is clear. This isn't just a young player trying to survive in the NFL. This is a guy who wants to dominate. Karlaftis is thinking long-term. He's studying greatness, embracing the grind, and trying to carve out a legacy in Kansas City. And as a fan, that should get you fired up. We're watching the early stages of what could become one of the most important defensive careers in Chiefs history. That's no exaggeration. His mindset shows maturity beyond his years. He's not focused on stats or media hype. He's focused on improving, earning respect, and becoming a player that future Chiefs rookies will look up to one day. That's the kind of foundation that helps build championship defenses. Now here's the real question. What do you want to see from George Karlaftis this season? More sacks, more leadership, bigger plays in big moments? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what your expectations are and how you think he fits into the Chiefs' big picture. Also, if you've made it this far, it probably means you love this team just as much as I do. So do me a favor, hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Let's hit that 5,000 subscriber goal together. This is your channel just as much as it is mine. Total Chiefs News is built for fans who live and breathe Chiefs football, and I'm here to bring you every headline, every angle, and every behind-the-scenes moment worth talking about. Thanks for watching, and remember, this season is going to be special. Keep your eyes on George Karlaftis because something big is brewing in Kansas City.